The African Savannah is a sprawling, sun-baked landscape teeming with heavyweights. But to find one of its most notoriously aggressive residents, you have to look past the open plains and go deep underground. You start your life completely blind, bald, and squeaking in a burrow your mom didn't even bother digging herself. At this stage, you are entirely dependent and dangerously vulnerable. Mom, for her part, has no time for soft maternal moments. She is constantly at the entrance of the burrow, snarling and warding off predators that are twice her size. Life underground is a countdown. To survive the transition to the surface, you will have to develop an attitude that matches the predators waiting for you above. By the time you're a few months old, you're dragged out into the daylight to shadow your mother on her daily rounds. There are no gentle lectures. You are expected to figure out survival purely by watching her. Her first lesson involves an all-out assault on a wild beehive. She tears it apart, ignoring the thick swarm of angry bees stinging her face and paws to reach the calorie-dense honey and larvae inside. Then she grunts. Your turn. You edge forward, take a sting on the nose, and tumble backward crying. Mom doesn't offer any comfort. She just keeps eating. You have to learn these lessons quickly. Right around your first birthday, she simply walks away, leaving you standing in the grass with absolutely no backup plan. That encounter with the bees sets the template for your adult life. You've seen that physical pain is a temporary price, and as long as there is a reward at the end, the stings are just part of the process. Year 1 of independence is a period of trial and error. You're alone, piecing together a diet through desperate scavenging and highly optimistic hunting attempts. You learn very quickly that not every target is worth the effort. Charging a porcupine results in 0 calories and a face full of quills that leaves you limping for days. Fortunately, your body gives you a wide margin for error. A scorpion sting might leave you rolling on the ground in frustration, but your natural biological resistance to the toxin means you live to hunt. As this diagram shows, a cobra bite is manageable. When neurotoxic venom enters your bloodstream, specialized mutated cell receptors block the molecules from taking effect. You simply take a nap and let your immune system sort out the details. Independence is a series of narrow escapes. Your survival relies on a physiology designed to endure the consequences of high-risk decisions. By age 2, you've reached your physical peak and built a reputation. Imagine you stumble upon a leopard guarding a fresh kill. The leopard outweighs you 10 to 1. A logical animal would run. You, however, lunge straight at its face. The audacity startles the massive cat, throwing it immediately on the defensive. This chart illustrates what ecologists call an asymmetrical risk assessment. The leopard evaluates the few calories it might gain against the high probability that your claws will blind it. By relentlessly countering every swipe, you manipulate that math. You make the fight so dangerous and irritating that the cost of engaging you outweighs any potential food reward. You win these encounters by making the friction of the experience so physically and psychologically exhausting that the apex predator decides to leave. By 3 years old, you're looking for a place of your own. The problem is that every patch of land with decent cover and a water source is already claimed. Acquiring territory requires violent negotiation. You might wander into the wrong patch, get brutalized by an older honey badger, and limp away to try again. Eventually, you find a resident jackal and evict it with a snarl and a charge. Fast forward to age 5, and you've achieved a level of domestic stability. Your borders are secure, your routine is set, and the local predators know better than to test your fence line. The chaotic brawling of your youth has been replaced by efficiency. You wait for the perfect high-yield strike, a fat rabbit or an unguarded snake's nest. Eat your fill and retreat to your den. At this stage, you spend less time brawling and more time sleeping. Most potential threats have already learned that starting a fight with you is a losing game. Still, time catches up to everyone. By 8 or 9 years old, you lose a step. The territorial skirmishes you once welcomed now leave your joints aching for days. When a younger badger wanders into your territory looking to pick a fight, you recognize exactly what's happening. You might send them packing this time, but the encounter makes it clear that your replacement has arrived. When the end comes, it's remarkably quiet. There is no dramatic final battle. You simply find a shade spot under a tree, curl up, and let the savannah carry on without you. Miles away, deep in another borrowed burrow, a new, bald, blind cub is squeaking in the dirt, resetting the timeline. The savannah carries no grand monuments to your life. Your presence is replaced by the next generation. Another cub is already out there, ready to be just as stubborn and fearless as you were.